At peripheral block anesthesia, it's not nearly so widely utilized, it's not nearly as reproducible, and it certainly is not nearly as acceptable to the patient or to the surgeon with whom we're working. And I think the reason for that is a very simple anatomical one, and that is that with a spinal or an epidural, let's say, for example, a spinal, we don't try to find the nerves that we're blocking. We try to find a space in which we know the nerves lie so that we can make a single injection with a single needle, find the space, fill the space with an appropriate amount of local anesthetic, and let the local anesthetic find the nerves rather than we finding the nerves with our needle. And if you contrast this with the usual traditional techniques of peripheral blocks like brachial plexus blocks, why, the anesthetist finds each and every branch of each and every nerve that he wants to anesthetize. So it traditionally took many injections, many needle sticks, to provide anesthesia of an entire extremity. And of course, if you missed just one of those injections, why, the whole technique was a failure. If we realize that anatomically all of the plexuses, but in particular the brachial plexus, at some point in their development or distribution, they pass between two muscles. And since muscles have fascia investing them, at the point where the plexus or plexuses pass between two muscles, they lie between two walls of fascia. So that if we think of that fascia as investing the plexus rather than the muscles which they are intended to invest, we now have the plexus in a situation similar to, say, the epidural situation, where the nerves are surrounded by a fascial investment. With that concept, if we can find that space between the two walls of fascia with a needle, we can then inject an appropriate amount of local anesthetic into that space, and with a single injection do just what we do with epidural or spinal anesthesia. Let the local anesthetic find the nerves. And just as with, say, epidural anesthesia, we will be able to establish predictable anesthesia, or I should say volume anesthesia relationships, so that we know that if we put the needle in a certain level in the space and inject a certain volume, we'll get a certain extent of anesthesia, just as we do with epidural anesthesia. Now, of course, regional anesthesia, whatever type, is nothing but applied anatomy. So let's start off by looking at the anatomy essential for doing the various techniques of brachial plexus block.